Now, there's been an outrage by Heart FM's loyal listeners after the dismissal of popular radio personality Clarence Ford. Ford is leaving the station after 24 years, citing issues of bullying and a toxic work environment. Reporter Monique Mortlock is covering the story and joins us now for the latest. So you were out and about during a protest by some of the fans of the radio station who are very aggrieved by the departure of Mr. Clarence Ford. What was the turnout of today's protest like, and really what are the people saying in terms of the conditions that people like Clarence were forced to work under?
It was a small group that turned out, but they made their voices heard loud and clear. EFF MP Nazir Paulson was among the group. There were some gender-based violence activists like Reverend June Dolly. She was there with a placard saying, "Say his name," because she feels that the name of the alleged perpetrator who's allegedly sexually harassed an employee or a former employee at Heart FM, that person should be named. This is a separate incident to Clarence Ford's departure from the station. Ford made the decision to leave. He was supposed to work until February, and then he says on Facebook, on his Facebook page, that he was called on Monday as he was on his way to work to say that his services were no longer needed. I have reached out to Heart FM just to ask for some more clarity on this, but what the protesters were telling me today is that some of them were there in support of Clarence Ford, some loyal listeners who've been following his journey with Heart FM over the last 24 years, many of them aggrieved by the reports they've heard of Ford speaking about alleged bullying by management, and this being the reason for his decision to leave the station. And others like Reverend June Dolly, there in support of this another former employee who allegedly left due to being sexually harassed by an employee. But let's just take a listen to what Reverend June Dolly had to say when we caught up with her at the protest.
The reason why I decided to come here today, because of one, Clarence Ford, but because of the silent victim and victims behind us. So one, Clarence Ford was talked about bullying, and that's why he left, but then of course got fired and got minutes notice, basically didn't have a chance to say goodbye. And the other person didn't also have a chance to say goodbye, whose name is not really known to many of us. It is known to me, but I will not say her name. But she had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, which was just bullied once again into silence. And that was to do with sexual harassment that took place here at this particular radio station. So that's why I'm here today. The campaign is Say the Name, and saying the name of our perpetrators, and to be able to say that you can't harass us sexually or rape us or bully us, and then you decide to silence us with a gag order. And once again, it was wonderful that Clarence could come out publicly and speak.
So then, Monique, what has Heart FM said about these allegations of bullying and sexual misconduct within its walls?
We know that Heart FM released a statement on the 20th of December. That was the same day that Clarence Ford was allegedly on his way to work, and then received a call to say that his services were no longer needed. And in the statement, Heart FM spoke about Ford's contribution to the station and the fact that he may just be the longest serving steward in the radio industry, having spent about 32 years in this industry at different radio stations, Heart FM being the longest one that he worked at. And Heart FM went on to say that they would have liked to see Clarence staying on in some type of capacity, even if it's just manning his very popular Sunday show, Me Time with Clarence Ford. But this was sadly not the case, and his journey with Heart FM has ended. We have asked Heart FM several questions, asking for an interview or a written comment to these allegations that Ford has made about bullying by management being one of the reasons for him choosing to end his journey with Heart FM, and we've also asked whether or why rather they decided that his services are no longer needed if he was supposed to work until February, if it is linked to an exclusive interview that he first did with Weekend August, where he cited all those reasons for his departure. We also asked about these very serious allegations of alleged sexual harassment being swept under the carpet by management, and this former employee being made or allegedly being made to sign a non-disclosure agreement. We've given Heart FM until 4 p.m. to answer to those allegations, seeing as how it is out there in the media space, on social media, various current employees, former employees speaking to the media, and we'd like to hear from the station themselves what is happening, how management is dealing with these allegations, and what their response is.
Monique Mortlock, of course, you did indicate that you've given them until 4 p.m. this afternoon to give some kind of explanation into all these allegations that have been making the rounds. And, of course, you will keep us abreast of those answers as they give them. Monique Mortlock there giving us an update on that story about Clarence Ford, who has been dismissed at Heart FM.